All right, fire away.
Ben, this Baltimore defense has created a lot of turnovers. I think they're averaging like an interception a game. Why do you think they've been so good at attacking the ball?
Yeah, I think they're pretty good, right? They have good personnel. They got good coaching. It's in the bricks there. They've been doing it for a long time, so we have our hands full. But they have good size, they have good speed, they have good length. So they do a good job instinctively as well on the back end. They have guys who have been around the block. They're not all young players, so they do a good job of not only knocking the ball out, punching the ball out, but intercepting the ball. And then at the same point in time, they knock a lot of balls down. So it's a good defense.
I know it's a small sample size, but how did Roquan kind of change their defense if he did at all?
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a snapshot of it, right? So I think we'll find out more about how they're going to play with him this week coming off of a bye. So it's probably a better question for next week after we get going in this game. Keep your eye on it.
What's the situation that Baker's stepping into now versus at the beginning of the season? Is it how much better you think the line, everything else is prepared to make him successful that maybe wasn't earlier in the year?
Yeah, just where we are in the season right now, getting into November. Obviously, the weather's turned. We can tell by the way you're dressed here today, but the weather's turned. So when the weather turns, it's the game changes, and we've had a chance to build into that with the way we've been playing with our big guys and our tight ends, our receivers blocking, and the backs running. So the offense has changed a little bit. We believe we found our identity. We want to play physical. We want to play heavy-handed, get our backs the ball, and then when we have a chance, get the ball on the perimeter a little bit. And we're just going to insert Baker in there and let him go out and get him ready to go win the game, get him ready to go prepare to win the game this week.
A lot's been made of Bozeman entering the starting lineup, but how have Brady and Austin played this year in your estimation?
Yeah, I think the group, it's hard to talk about one without talking about the others, right? Because they're all side by side in there, and they all work together as a unit. And good communication from Bozeman really helps everybody else play fast. So whether it was Pat earlier in the year, whether it's Bose right now, I think those guys have done a great job at the center positions. We put a lot on those guys that allow everyone else to play fast, and they all work together well as a unit. And we just got to keep going and keep making progress, and never be satisfied. And this will be a great test for us this weekend.
Back to your point about the game changing, if you don't mind, could you just please elaborate on just how it changes when it gets colder?
Yeah, when the weather turns, it's a big boys game. We always believe everything starts up front here on both sides of the ball. That comes from Coach Wilkes, and certainly up front for us on offense, especially the last handful of weeks. We've been really improving there, playing physical, playing heavy-handed the way we want to play. And, a lot of times people say the points are in the pass game and you win the run, or run to win. But we can do a little bit of both here. We have confidence in both areas of our game, and certainly in our run game early and late, and helping that either, whether that sets up the pass game or vice versa. We can use those both together.
How much have you seen the tight ends sort of kind of help with the perimeter blocking that you were mentioning earlier, just sort of step up with the kind of, like you said, the lines of scrimmage? I'm trying to think of the word to use, but just kind of staying up front.
Yeah, the tight ends, we have 4 guys in a room right now that they do a good job for us. They each have different skill sets. They're not all the same. They're different people. They're different players with different strengths and different weaknesses, but they all contribute in their own way. And whether it's in line, whether it's as the move guy, whether it's on the perimeter or from the backfield, they all have their strengths and they all help, and it's all important to them. And again, just like the big guys inside, we want to keep progressing there and keep adding to their arsenal as we get going.
You mentioned the weather a couple times as far as how that impacts things. Does that really impact the style of play you have?
I'm just excited. I like it when it cools down a little bit. I just like the crispness in the air. I think anytime you get a chance to go out and play in cool weather, I love it. I enjoy it. I get excited about it, and it gives you a chance to pound the ball a little bit, whether it's raining, whether the wind's blowing, temperatures get below freezing, maybe a little bit of snow. Who knows, right? But what's that? Let's not get carried away. But
weather goes a long way.
Yeah, a little weather goes a long ways, right?
Did your style of play, was it beneficial last Thursday?
I believe so. I think we called maybe 54 runs in the game, and I don't know that I've been a part of that very often, very recently anyways, in the league. And, just the way you play physical, it wasn't all perfect. It wasn't all pretty. We didn't get a lot of style points, you know what I mean? But that's who we are, and we're okay with that. And, go out, we ran the ball, control the clock a little bit, give your defense a breather. That's kind of who we're developing to be.
You ended up with 47 official rushes.
Mhm.
Were the others penalties, that kind of thing?
Yeah, or possible throws, right? RPOs and those type of things. Yeah.
Going back to the centers real quick, Baker and Bradley have not started a game together yet, despite having that second half in Cincinnati. What are like the top two coaching points you make when you're installing a new quarterback with a center pairing?
I think we got it done yesterday in practice. I think it's important you get obviously you get a chance to work some center quarterback exchange on the road a little bit, so you have to work your silent count maybe a little bit more in the week. But these guys have both played a lot of football games, and they're smart guys, and they work together in camp and really the whole way through until Baker's injury. So that's not a major concern. But, one thing you want to do with, a quarterback that hasn't played for a little while, you'd like to get the pocket a little bit dirty and practice with pads on. And we got that done yesterday, so that'll help. And we had some good productive plays with it. And just the communication, really, you're playing a multiple front and multiple look defense. Just got to get out there and you got to communicate in the noise, have a little poise out there, and snap the ball.
This might be an oversimplification, but does Bradley's pre-snap responsibilities change at all with Baker being in, or is he operating the same pre-snap regardless of who's behind him?
Yeah, no, everything's the same. Yep.
You got away from the run a few weeks ago against Cincinnati. Obviously, they got the big lead. But how tough is it to stay with the run when you fall behind early? I mean, like the Dallas game the other day, they were down by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and Green Bay stuck with the run. And, I mean, how tough is that for a coordinator to discipline himself to do that?
Yeah, I think it's important that you stick with your plan as long as you can. And you need to be ready to adjust simplistically early on in the game with the way the game's going and some things you may see. But that doesn't mean your run-pass ratio needs to differ a bunch. Now, when you fall behind like we did in the Cincinnati game, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but sometimes you do, and that was one of those types of games. But if it's within a 2-score game, you have to kind of stick with your plan a little bit. Maybe one way or the other, whether you're up or down 2 scores, you can lean one way or the other, maybe a little bit more. But in this game and today, Nate, you can score quickly. The end of games are an eternity, right? You can do things to manage the clock to extend the game on both sides of the ball. So extend it or really cut the game down and chew the clock. So there are strategies you can use there. But if it's a 2-score game, you should just be playing ball.
You mentioned this being a big boys game this time of year. What have you liked with the jumbo package and Cam Irvin?
You just a big guy out there just getting Cam. Well, first of all, Cam is a great leader for us, right? Cam's been around the block. He provides a lot to the locker room and a lot to the offense. He's a big man who you can put in space, and he can function out there at a high level. So Cam's a leader for us. We like to use him. And last week was a short week, right? So we were coming off a short week. Ian does a lot of pounding, and it was a way to help kind of take some pounding off of Ian, give Cam a role, which he has earned in the locker room and with us as an offense. And it's not bad having just big bodies out there throwing themselves around, being physical and heavy-handed.
Can he catch it?
Stay tuned. You never know.
You brought up Ian. We don't see him catch a lot of passes, but how has he contributed to the success of the running game in the last few weeks?
Yeah, pound for pound, he's one of the better blockers in this game anywhere. And, he gets matched up a lot of times. Teams will put big ends out there, some heavy bodies on him. And, he'll play physical, heavy-handed with those guys, and he'll battle with those guys and gives you a lot of effort. And he doesn't say boo about it. He's an ultimate team guy. and he allows you to go out there and have success running the ball, where some teams, they may have to hide those guys a little bit. And with Ian, we don't. We put him out there front and center, and he has no problem stepping up to the task.
There was a play against Atlanta. Tommy ran a crossing route, but it looked like he was kind of a late read progression there, and PJ hit him, but he didn't turn his head. What was supposed to happen on that play? What was the miscommunication there?
Yeah, we were hot, right? So we were hot. I don't want to get too deep into schematics there, but Tommy wasn't wrong. It's important to know that Tommy wasn't wrong. You like to see maybe guys play above the X's and O's at a certain point in time, but Tommy was doing what we were coached him to do and thought we were picked up there.
Where's Terrace grown and developed the most in his training camp that's allowed him to, establish himself more into this offense?
Yeah, again, I go back to OTAs with Terrace. OTAs, he was having a hell of a camp, right? He was here every day. He was working hard. He's a smart, conscientious guy. He asks great questions. It's important to him. And he got nicked up in camp. And really that's what happened. And, he's a younger player, and he needed to take a little time to get healthy and get some reps underneath him before he had a chance to go play again. I mean, it was no shot against, Terrace and his work ethic and him as a football player that it took him. He was just a young player that needed to get back, get healthy, and get reps to get the opportunity that he's got now, and he's taken advantage of it.
Pre NFL, when was the first time you noticed Terrace? Was he a guy you really liked at LSU, or before that or anything?
Yeah, no, obviously I looked at him coming out of LSU. They had a lot of good players coming out of LSU at that time, but he was certainly one of them. Yeah, I mean, they had a talented group, one of the better ones you'll probably see historically, and I was certainly aware of him coming out.
How much college football do you actually see during a season?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Not very much. Not very much. Saturdays, you get to the hotel, you're kind of always getting ready to play the next game, so I don't get a chance to watch a whole lot of college football, really.
Have there been particular ones, whether it's a night game or something that hey, I want to make sure I see this? Or?
We have our meetings at night, the night before the game, and if there's like a TV on around the snack, around the chow hall or something like that, I may watch a couple minutes before a meeting. But yeah, we're usually pretty busy the night before a game, getting ready for to play the next one. If you're not calling plays, it may be a little bit different, but you want to kind of call the game a couple times before you call the game.
Any of the top quarterbacks you coming out this year, you sort of taking notice of? It all?
No,
Okay.
I'm behind there.
How has it helped or there's been some changes on the defensive side since Matt was let go? You guys have been, I think, pretty much intact. Has that been beneficial as
As far as
week to week?
the players, the staff?
No, I'm sorry, staff.
Staff? Yeah, we have a good staff here. We have a staff with a lot of responsibilities. I believe in delegation. I believe in delegating and giving guys an opportunity to contribute to the plan and getting up in front of the group. And, there are guys I've been with for a while, maybe a couple different spots, and I have a lot of confidence in them. We have a lot of tremendous coaches. I don't want to say names because I'll probably forget somebody, and that won't go well for me. But a lot of confidence in the staff. I believe we'll get better here as we get going here the second half of the season and improve it like we're always trying to do. But a lot of confidence there, and I think anytime you have continuity, especially when you're putting a first-year system in, that helps. All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.